This was a stupid way to start a clothing brand, many people would say. Two guys made 200 giant crop jackets in weird colors and basically said, this is it. This jacket was either going to change their lives or embarrass them in public. Then one color vanished in 60 seconds and the rest were gone in 10 minutes. So entire studios launched inside 2020 with one product. And just to give you guys a little overview, the two people that started this brand was Dylan Richard Diaz and Sebastian Hunt. Now, jackets were already part of their personal wardrobe because these guys grew up inside New Zealand. And for anyone that don't know about New Zealand, they actually have winter around right now when you're watching this video, from June to August, right? So New Zealand could get pretty cold, like around 46 degrees. And if you just dive a little bit more deeper into the weather, the spring and the fall around the morning time is usually cold too. So you can literally carry a jacket all year round. The reason why I'm actually explaining this is because it's a lot of people that really design and make clothes that's really outside of their element. And I feel like that's a reason why you could actually have room for error, mistake, and that's actually when the community can sense that you're actually faking it. Let's say if you're from a tropical climate, you got no business creating a jacket, to be honest, at all. Like, let's say for instance, like Jamaica, it never gets cold over there, right? It will never snow. And the only reason you probably be wearing on a jacket is because maybe it might be raining. But other than that, like, there's no reason for you to put it on. But as far as Dylan and Sebastian go, they were stylists before they started their brand. And I think this is very important because they actually had some good experience and good value coming into their startup. They created social media campaigns for different brands while they was working as stylists and spent 5 years at Yeezy's business. Think about that. Within that 5 years of working for Yeezy, they probably learned about colors, shapes, certain silhouettes, how to get attention, how to get people to believe in your vision, how to even create a vision. So I feel like that experience most people would just die for. With these two guys, they actually believed inside their vision, creating their first product, which was that PFD jacket. Just knowing this and just being able to focus on this, it's a big chance that other people will actually like it too if you could just hone into it. So these two didn't need a collection to make noise. They just focused on one thing, guys, a specific type of customer, knowing exactly who they want this jacket to be for, what type of activities they would like to do with the jacket on, what type of people they will be around, and the type of people that they will be around will actually like the jacket themselves, you know? And the big word here is just focus, right? When you're releasing one product, you literally have an advantage that a lot of people do not think about. You could really just hone in and focus on your functionality, thinking about how you want the jacket to fit, what type of pockets would you like the jacket to have during the cold, right? How big would you like a hoodie on? Do you even want a hoodie on? How durable do you want it to be when it comes to being wet and getting wet? All these things, it's a lot to think about, but if you have one product, you'll be able to think about that a lot more better and a lot more precise. So you can also talk about the fit as well. Like, if you focus on one product, how do you want that jacket to fit? How comfortable do you want it to be? Do you want people to do activities like what I just said? Even marketing. How great would your product look inside of a specific scenery or maybe a photo shoot for a campaign? Like, how would you need to adjust your lighting, or what type of people would even be attracted to your jacket, right? Let's say if you have this specific product, you might have to target people that only have the seasons of winter or fall. Like, you would not target someone that's inside of a desert, most likely, because it's like, why the hell would they put that on? Just be honest and be real. And most importantly, to budgeting. Like, if you could just focus, it's probably a great chance that you could just calculate how much each piece would need to cost for you to get the right profit, rather than if you had 4 different pieces going all together at once. There's be a chance that money will leak out and you will be inside the red for your first drop. You don't want that. So it's a lot that goes in with this, and honing in on this, it gets customers' attention.
Also, if you need help finding a factory and you want to make sure your bulk orders don't become a loss, there's a link down low that you can sign up to so we can work with one another and get your quality exactly the way you want it.
This moves us on to the next one. Can a jacket become famous without a logo? A lot of people might say no, but just think about that ideology and the thought process behind this, right? Can it become famous with a logo? Hell yeah, it could. Like, they have examples out there. If you look at Fear of God Essentials, they got a sporty nylon high neck jacket, right? It's like this black long coat, and people actually know about it, and it's very identifiable. You could also look at Uniqlo's seamless down short jacket. And the thought process between Sebastian and Dylan was that they wanted to turn their silhouette into a logo, and I think that's fire. Most brands just have one iconic logo that you could just look and identify immediately, but they went the opposite direction. So if you take a look at this PFD jacket, right, it has an extremely wide body for a jacket. extremely wide body. But the other thing that stood out to me was a crop waist. Now, a crop waist feature can make your legs look taller because your torso will just naturally shrink and be cropped. They probably liked this type of style when it was growing up inside New Zealand. They took that inspiration and they brought it to the design process, right? And even just having a crop waist, it just won't make you look like a big box, like some type of SpongeBob character. It's also hard for the bottom to be wrinkled when you sit down if you want to keep your jacket on. It's not the cold winter time. So just that type of specific functionality works if you know what your customers truly want. Target customer might be someone that have on like slacks or maybe some type of smart pants, probably inside a white collar workforce. It wouldn't be someone that's sagging their pants. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't look good. It's just obvious. Things is just not for everybody. Another feature was like the long sleeves on the PFD jacket. Long sleeves can allow for extra layering. Think about it, like whenever it's cold outside, you could put on like a hoodie or sweater and you won't be able to see the hoodie or sweater sleeves when you throw the jacket on. If you have long sleeves on your jacket, you could actually hide your hands whenever it is cold outside and you don't want to get like frostbites, maybe because you forgot your gloves. Or even if you do have gloves on, like the long sleeves could even reassure you could just hide your hands from the wind. I feel like that's fire. There is a huge difference between recognizing a jacket with the chest logo and recognizing one that don't have it. You gotta have to think about the customer a lot more, but most importantly, you're gonna have to deliver. People won't just buy a product because your logo looks nice or the artwork that's on the piece. Like they'll buy it because of how it actually would fit, how it actually feels, and the functionality. In terms of colors, there was 3 colorways, right? I think this actually was a good idea as well. If you have multiple products for like a specific collection that you're doing, I've seen people that have like 5, 6 colors for like 4 different t-shirts that they putting out, and it's just very chaotic when it comes to the manufacturing process. It's a lot of mistakes. You have to get the specific hue in mind. At times, factories are human and they make human error. These 3 colorways had a lot of unique element inside of it as well. In terms of entire studios, they had a blue, orange, and gunmetal gray. Very unique. Most importantly, it stands out in the open. Manufacturing, coloring is complicated at times. The actual tone of the color, maybe a color might fade too quickly if you're out and about outside due to the sun. That could be another issue. Them getting mixed up with your MOQs for different types of colors for your product and the quantity that you want, that could be a whole nother issue. Just so much things that could happen. But if you have one product, it's a lot easier. And in terms of money, save some income from just focusing on one thing, and you're able to spend a little bit more in the areas that could have a better benefit for you in the future. And if we move on to the next section, we always have to say that the product does not spread by itself. I mean, we just got to be honest, right? They obviously had a launch strategy. The launch strategy was divided by social media marketing and, of course, influencer marketing. So you guys remember that I told you that these guys actually had experience inside social media marketing. This had a huge play in how they strategized their campaign. And in terms of influencers, they met a ton of them when they were working at Yeezy for almost 5 years. So the Kardashian family was a big one. Kendall, Khloe, Kim, a lot of them was actually spotted wearing these jackets, and this was also a huge way that the brand got noticed quickly and spread throughout the nation. So the silhouette made the product worth noticing, but networks placed it in front of the right people, and in return it made the right community buy the products. It goes back again to knowing your customers. If you just have the advantage of having one product to release, you could really dig deeper into your customer base. You can see what they like, what they dislike, and of course you can start to cater that campaign towards these specific type of demographics or group of people. If you know who they are, you could put the pieces on the right people. I'm not talking about influencer marketing as well, because I know there's plenty of people out there that's saying, I don't know the Kardashian family. I'm just talking about regular everyday people that you see on the street. Maybe you see them playing a sport, maybe you see them inside school or a job, or even inside like events like clubs, parties, you know, like these type of people that you know. You could actually tell them about your brand if they match your customer base, and then you could slowly start to maneuver in the pieces on the people that you know actually be behind the brand in terms of support and your vision. So again, when you're figuring out your target audience or your customer base, you have to understand what are their expectations and what do they want for the price that they're going to spend the piece on, right? So if you have a $500 jacket, you better make sure damn well that the functionality for that $500 jacket match what your customer base wants, all right? It has to meet their expectations, and it has to meet the type of experience that they expect to get out of that exchange for the $500. So even If it's like a $500 jacket, it better not damage within 1 year. You wash it, it shouldn't shrink too much. You're inside the sun or you're inside the snow, the color shouldn't fade out or be worn out quickly. Meet these type of expectations for the prices, or else people will call you a scammer. And that's the last thing you want, because positivity when it comes to reviews and spreading the good word is very hard to do, but negativity spreads a lot more faster. So if we also continue to go down this rabbit hole of their audience, you can notice that the audience is really anti-trend fashion professionals, meaning that they are hyper aware of fashion but hate being fashion followers. So they avoid traditional hype brands like Supreme and Balenciaga because they just find them to be just too loud. They want something more subtle, slick, and easy that they can move around with, where if you get it, you get it, but if you don't, oh well. Obviously, Dylan and Sebastian went back to the Yeezy era fan base as well. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You already had history working there. You already know what those type of people wanted. And because they were already stylists, and some people even say ghost designers for Yeezy, you already know a type of taste and a type of style that a potential base will actually want. So I feel like that was a no-brainer for this too. And they just took full advantage of it. It's not really a bad thing if you just go with one product for a release. Like, it's nothing wrong with that, especially if your budget is not too high and you're just starting out, or maybe you're trying to squeeze and try to save some type of profit while maintaining your budget. On one product release is nothing wrong with that. But if you guys like this video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Please, yeah, I see that 80% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So go do a due diligence and just subscribe. It's free and it takes less than 4 seconds, to be honest with you. If you like this video, I think you will like this video next, St. Max. But alright, y'all, this is Lee from No Studios. Next time I'm out of here, peace.